Guys, so we got a full look at the Stranger Things season 5 set. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's just literally out here. Like, I think this is in the middle of nowhere. Well, never mind, because this car is driving over there. But obviously, nobody's gonna be able to step on this set for the actors. So if the people who's over there see somebody else trying to get on the set, they're of course gonna stop them. Anyways, so yeah, we already saw a screenshot of this area right here, of this area right here. I think of this area right here and here. But we didn't get a screenshot of the area right here. So I'm not sure if this is gonna be like a part of it or what. So yeah, but it's good to see the Stranger Things season 5 set. First we get the logo for it, like I think 2 months ago, maybe a month ago. And now we get the set. Yeah. So first we get the season 5 logo, then we get screenshots of the set. Now we got this full-on picture of the entire set. So yeah. I think there's also a video. Hold on. Hold on, let me find it. Yep, there it is. Unfortunately, there's no audio. So, is this just a camera? Like, is this just like a camera attached to something, just circling around the entire set? If they recorded this, then obviously they knew somebody was gonna find it or something like that. So yeah, this is gonna be the spot where they're gonna film some scenes though, I think. So yeah, even though they haven't started filming yet, at least we got this. So yeah, if this makes you guys even more hyped for season 5, like the video, because I'm getting even more hyped for season 5, because I am a big Stranger Things fan, because my top 3 things that I like the most is FNAF, Fortnite, and, well, Deadpool, and Stranger Things. So yeah. I have been a fan, of Stranger Things since, well, I would say since day 1 of the series came out, but actually since day 2 of the series, because I only found out of Stranger Things a day after it came out, and I'm talking about the very first season. Like, I found out of Stranger Things a day after season 1 came out. And you want to know how? Because I was just on YouTube, and I was super young at the time. I was probably like 6 or 7. I don't really know. Maybe about 7 years old at the time. And I just see this YouTube video on Stranger Things, and I'm like, what is Stranger Things? And then I see that it's on Netflix, and I already knew what Netflix was at the time. And then I go into Netflix, search up Stranger Things. But I had to have some help because I was super young at the time. And then I watched season 1, episode 1, all the way to the finale. And then, when season 2 gets announced, I'm so happy because at the time, 7-year-old me really enjoyed season 1. Now I don't really like season 1 that much, in my opinion. In my opinion, nowadays, season 1 is just my least favorite seasons, but back then, season 1 was my favorite season, because, to be fair, that was literally the only season of the show. But then when season 2 came out, I liked it. I think, at the time, I still thought that season 2 was copying season 1 a little bit, but just with a different story. But nowadays, I think that season 2 is definitely better than season 1. But back then, yeah. And then season 3 gets announced 2 years later, I think, maybe 3 years. Well, no, actually, season 3 gets announced a year after season 2 come out, and then it comes out 3 years later, I think. See, and season 3 was definitely the best one of them all. By the time season 3 came out, I was like, I'm gonna be turning 15 now, so okay, so when season 3 came out, I was 10 years old. And, well, I honestly enjoyed season 3 a lot. I think that season 3, till this day, is definitely the best season. Well, not the best season anymore. Before season 4 came out, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that before season 4 came out, season 3 was the best, and I mean the best season of the entire series or show, whatever you want to call it. Like, it was the best season at the time of Stranger Things. Until season 4 came out. When season 4 came out, everybody was like, okay, this is the best season of Stranger Things. A lot of people still prefer season 3 is better. But I think my favorite season so far is season 4. Because I remember when I was watching season 4 on day 1 it came out. I remember, when they gave us the release date for season 4, I was so excited. And when the day finally came, a day before, I was just waiting all day until midnight. Because I was so excited to watch season 4 after, 3 years. Actually 4 years. Anyways, so yeah, once it finally came on, I had so much anxiety, and I have never had that much anxiety with a Stranger Things season before. And season 4 was honestly good. So yeah, but you already know when season 5 comes out. I know we said this before, and plenty of times, but I really hope that season 5 does go all out. I really hope the Duffers really go all out on this season, and who knows, maybe it will be a little bit more darker than the others, because season 4 was honestly a little darker than season 1, 2, and 3 with the Max thing and all of that. So I really hope that season 5 could possibly be the darkest season of Stranger Things yet, because I'm not really sure what the age rating is for Stranger Things. I think it's all ages. If it is, then they can't really show that much violence. But who knows? So yeah, this season better be the darkest season yet and the best one. So yeah, but if Stranger Things season 5 is a disappointment, then well, yeah. But don't be sad that Stranger Things is going to be ending after season 4. After season 5, because the Duffers have talked about there possibly being a sequel to Stranger Things after season 5. But we don't know. It still hasn't been confirmed. All I know is that they talked about it, but I know they definitely didn't confirm it. So yeah, but if we do get a spin-off or a sequel, whatever you want to call it, after season 5, which I really hope we do, then it's probably going to take place 20 years later. We're probably going to see Steve with a beard and all that if he survives season 5. It depends on what characters survive or die. If Steve survives season 5, because if the Duffer Brothers decides to do another series, a sequel to Stranger Things, a completely different series, a spin-off or something, then they're probably gonna keep Steve alive, and then he'll probably be in the sequel. If Steve survives season 5, then it's probably gonna then the sequel of Stranger Things would probably take place 20 years later. If Dustin survives, we would probably see him as adult. If Nancy survives, we would probably see her as a full-grown woman, because I think Nancy is a teen. I could be wrong, but we would probably see like people like Steve, maybe Nancy, Robin, if she survives season 5, all have a job. I can't say the same thing about Mike because he'll probably end up dying. Because I know that in the because you guys remember the trailer from Stranger Things. Do you guys remember the trailer for Volume 2 of Season 4? When we first got the trailer and Mike and Jonathan were hugging, everybody thought that something happened to Mike and that he was dead or he got captured or something. And I also did, because if you guys were to go back to that time period, you would know that I made a video on that. Talking about if Mike was dead or not. Because a lot of people at the time thought that something happened to Mike and that he dies or something, and that Will is upset about Mike's death and he hugs Jonathan and Jonathan's comforting him. But in reality, Mike is fine and Elle are just chilling. See? But I do think that Mike will die. I think I already talked about who I think will die in season 5. I'm going to do it again. So I think that Steve is most likely going to end up dying. Even though that Steve is pretty much a fan favorite at this point. Because, let's be honest, pretty much nobody actually cared about Steve, or he was not a fan favorite back in season 1, because, to be honest, Steve was kind of a ass back in season 1. But when season 2 came out, he began to become a better person. Then season 3 rolled along, he began to become a fan favorite. And, well, a lot of people were scared of him dying in the scene where he was getting bit by the demo bats. Because at that point, he was a fan favorite. So, Steve is probably most likely gonna be one of the people who dies in season 5. To be honest, I'm actually surprised that Steve has come this far. Because, to be honest, I honestly thought that Steve was gonna die in season 3 of Stranger Things. I didn't think he was gonna make it to season 4 at all. And, well, he did, and then I was saying the exact same thing. I was like, okay, it's season 4. We only got one more season left. There's no way how they're not gonna kill this man off when we got one more season left. And guess what? When that scene came along where Steve was getting one of them were strangling with their tail, and the other ones were biting him, I thought that was gonna be Steve's death scene. But Nancy, Robin, and Eddie came to save him. Let's all be honest. If Nancy, Robin, and Eddie, or just Nancy and Robin in general, or Nancy in general, if none of them came to save Steve, he probably would have been dead. Because from the way things were looking, Steve was pretty much on the verge of death. Because one of the bats were holding him down, strangling him with their tail, while the other ones were literally eating him, biting him. So from the way things were looking, Steve was probably gonna die from either getting bitten too many times or something like that, or getting strangled to death if he didn't break free from that. So yeah. But I definitely think Steve is gonna be one of the people to die. There has been a lot of theories that Steve if Steve does die in season 5, his death scene is probably gonna be him protecting someone he loves. Probably someone like Dustin, maybe Nancy. The only 2 people that I can think of that Steve would die, to sacrifice himself to protect, is either Dustin or Nancy, or maybe both. Or maybe just all of the gang in general. So yeah. But I think if Steve were to die in season 5, I really hope Steve's death scene does have a emotional death, how Eddie's did. Because I really hope they just don't do Steve's death dirty and barely have anyone do it. I really hope that it's like a very emotional death, and that he like, and if he dies to like sacrifice himself to protect someone he cares about. So yeah. And there's also been this one theory that there's gonna be a situation where somebody has to stay behind in order to hold the portal to the upside down. Like maybe it's gonna come to a situation where like we can finally destroy Vecna and end everything that happened, including the upside down, and destroy it all, and killing all of the Demogorgons once and for all. But the catch would be one person would have to stay behind. And Dustin and Steve would probably fight over that, and Steve would probably push Dustin away and seal himself in there, which would be pretty emotional. Or maybe it would be Steve and Nancy arguing, and Steve would probably push Nancy away and seal himself in. Maybe it would be both of them, who knows. I also think that I don't think Hop will die, because if they were to kill off Hopper in season 5, that would be completely stupid. Because season 4, the whole season was literally just like about saving him. Well, not the entire season, but half of it. Half of season 4 was just about Joyce and Murray going to save Hopper once they found out he was alive. So it would be stupid of them to kill him off in season 5. I don't think Will will die, but I think Joyce will possibly die. And a lot of people seem to think that Joyce will die, because a lot of people seem to think that this will be the season when Will unlocks his powers and fights Vecna, and then something happens to Joyce, like Vecna kills Joyce, and that unlocks the demon rage inside of Will, and he absolutely demolishes Vecna. That would be kind of cool, but sad at the same time, because it would be sad to lose Joyce, but actually kind of cool to see Will go like Super Saiyan, like all out, and absolutely demolish Vecna and all the Demogorgons and all of that. But that's one theory. I think that Mike could die, because if Will gets defeated, it's the same thing with Mike. Vecna could end up killing Mike, and it could unleash the darkness with NL, and she'll absolutely demolish him. I think that Robin could possibly end up getting killed. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think Robin will die. If there is a spin-off or a sequel or something like that, I feel like they won't kill her off and just save that later on in the sequel, like just to keep her alive for the sequel. I think that Dustin could possibly end up dying, but who knows? Who knows? It could be Steve sacrificing himself to protect Dustin, and if Dustin ends up living, then he could return in the sequel as a adult if it takes place that long later. I think that I don't think Lucas will die. I really don't think he will die, but if he ends up dying, that would be kind of sad. I don't think Max will die either, because it would be kind of stupid of them to kill off Max when they literally had the opportunity to do it in season 4, when they literally just could have kept her dead and not have Elle revive her. So it would be stupid if they done that. Do I think the army people will die, like the military people? Yes, I think they will get killed off by the end of the season, how Dr. Brenner did with season 4. because I really don't want the army people to be like hunting us down for like the entire season. So I really hope they do die in like possibly season 5 episode 6 or season 5 episode 5 or season 5 episode 7. I really hope that happens. The Duffers did say that season 5 wasn't gonna be the same runtime as season 4 was, which means it's gonna be shorter, which they said, which is kind of disappointing, but hey, as long as the season's good, I don't really care. And this is how Stranger Things could end, to leave a cliffhanger for a sequel. So if the Duffers decide they want to do a sequel but not announcing it yet or telling anyone, they can just leave a cliffhanger or a thing teasing the next project in the Stranger Things universe, and that would be it. And then, like, if they were to do something like that, a lot of people would like catch on and be like, oh, that's them teasing the next series, or them being there being a sequel. They would be like, oh yeah, they're teasing something. Because if Stranger Things ended on a I'm not saying on a cliffhanger, but on something that was like teasing the next, like teasing a sequel, then that would be cool. Anyways, that's all for this video. Bye.